Somewhere on the edge of a Jurassic forest, a mother dinosaur is laying her eggs. She is a 25-ton Diplodocus. Each football-sized object is carefully placed in a deep trench. Tenderly she buries her clutch and then abandons them to their fate. Out on the fern plains, the rest of her gigantic herd grazes. She is one of a great family of dinosaurs called the sauropods that dominate this period in Earth's history. They are the largest animals that will ever walk the planet. This is the Jurassic period, and the giant continent of Pangaea that used to stretch from pole to pole is now breaking up. It is much wetter than the earlier Triassic period, and where there were once deserts, there are now vast forests of conifer trees. It is 70 million years since dinosaurs first appeared on Earth. And in this greener world, they have evolved into a myriad of different forms. Three months ago, a mother Diplodocus laid 100 eggs in this clearing on the edge of the forest. It is time for them to hatch, but there are signs they have been discovered by an egg thief. The culprit is an Ornitholestes, a 2-meter-long carnivore that is closely related to the dinosaurs that will evolve into birds. Normally he hunts small lizards and mammals in the forest. The hatchling is an extra treat. Only 10 meters away from the carnivore, the forest floor moves. Right under the predator's gaze, a baby Diplodocus or sauropodlet has hatched. All around her, her brothers and sisters are also struggling free from their buried eggs beneath the surface. And there is safety in numbers. The Ornitholestes is too busy eating to start chasing more sauropodlets. He has had his fill. A little female rests for an instant. And then, along with the other survivors, heads for the deep forest as fast as her legs can carry her. Their mother laid them at the edge of the forest because she was too big to go in deeper. But the little sauropodlets have to. They need the cover of the deep forest. For the next few months, their only chance for survival is to remain hidden from predators amongst the vegetation. Between the trunks of huge redwood trees, the forest floor is covered in a dense layer of ferns. Beneath these, the sauropodlets immediately start their lifelong obsession with eating. Newly hatched, they only weigh a few kilograms, but they will have to grow by 1 ton a year until they are adults. That's an astonishing 2 to 3 kilograms a day. However, the forest is not a perfect sanctuary. When faced with danger, the sauropodlets lie very still and depend on their camouflage for protection. It may have worked this time, but all too often the sharp-eyed predator gets his meal. Not all of the landscape is covered in forest. There are vast open fern prairies, and this is where the titans of the Jurassic roam. Dinosaurs like Stegosaurus, with its distinctive row of spinal plates, these prairies are kept clear of trees by the constant grazing of such giant herbivores, and none have a larger impact on this environment than the biggest dinosaurs of all, the sauropods. There are many different types of these gigantic, long-necked creatures. These are Diplodocus, the longest of them all. For protection, they move in herds of 30 or more, and some of the older ones are over 40 meters in length. They use their very strong but stiff necks to graze over large areas with little effort. To balance their necks, they have long tails with elegant whip-like ends that are used for communication between members of the herd. Such a huge herd on the move attracts an array of smaller animals. As they eat and trample the vegetation, insects swarm around them. And insect hunters, like these damselflies, use the dinosaurs as gigantic feeding platforms. There is even a tiny flying reptile or pterosaur called Anurognathus that specializes in life amongst these giants. These pterosaurs feed on insects and spend their entire lives hanging on to the Diplodocus. They fight, feed and breed on creatures that are 150,000 times heavier than they are. Each Diplodocus drops over a ton of dung on the prairie every day. This attracts yet more insects, especially the dung beetles. Millions of years from now, the descendants of these beetles will clear elephant dung off the African grasslands. But their peculiar lifestyle started here in the Jurassic with the dinosaurs. The herd of giants moves on, carrying its own unique habitat with it. After a night of rain, the redwoods steam in the tropical morning temperatures, and a dinosaur's dawn chorus fills the air. A year has passed since the sauropodlets fled into the denser part of the forest, and deep in a canyon, the little female grazes. She is already over 3 meters long, She feeds with other yearlings that stick together in a creche for safety. They are here because the walls of the canyon drip with moisture, creating a thick layer of moss and fern. But the canyon runs down to the prairie, and all this greenery attracts larger dinosaurs. A 7-ton male Stegosaurus. He too is a herbivore, but very dangerous. The large plates on his back are primarily there for display. It is the meter-long spikes on his tail that make him so lethal. These he can wield with devastating effect, despite having a very small brain for his body size. The creche moves further down the canyon, away from the Stegosaurus. But 2 Allosaurus have also been drawn here by the smell of prey. The Stegosaurus flushes blood into his plates, creating a frightening display of color. Confused and intimidated by the herbivore's display, the Allosaurus backs down. Sauropodlets are small prey for the Allosaurus. These are the lions of the Jurassic, the top predators of their age. The creche once again seek the sanctuary of the ferns, even though, weighing half a ton now, they are not as well hidden as they used to be. As they grow, their teeth become more like the adults. These are simple pegs that are not designed to nip or chew. Instead, they are perfect for stripping ferns of their leaves. Nearby, the vast skeleton of an adult Diplodocus lies where it fell. Such huge, weight-bearing bones are too large for any forest creature to remove. The female sauropodlet can have little idea that in 10 years she will be almost as large as this. But the creche realize they are too near the edge of the forest and retreat into its green depths.